this opening because it has a pedal, and you know what I mean by pedal in the musical sense, in the harmonic sense. A pedal is a held long note low down in the orchestra or choir or on the organ, above which harmonies develop. But you can't just write any harmonies. They've got to have bear some relation to the bass, and then gradually it increases in tension until it's released, and the tension isn't released until the second page where we go to that A, which heralds the end of the first section. It's very, very clever indeed, and I absolutely love it. And you know, he uses diminished sevenths and lovely added bits and bobs and sixths in the bass and everything. And if I had longer, I would explain exactly how it's done. Thank you. That was lovely and well balanced too. It's very easy to have too much bass in this piece because the basses are so high up in their range, and it's such fun to sing that it's easy just to bellow your head off. And that didn't happen, so that was very good. Mark, can I ask you, I occasionally dabble at the organ, preferably when no one else is listening. And I would find that very difficult to do because you seem to have your fingers on the keys all the time in that introduction without a possibility of changing registration. How do you manage to get that build-up that you achieved?
Mainly by using foot pistons, but the hardest thing is as and when you add to the swell, you have to bring the box back down really quickly and then bring it up again. And I was going to ask you actually, because if you start it with the reeds, you get more of a gradation, a subtler gradation, if you like, but you start with that snarling start, which I didn't do. So it would start like this. Sorry. But it's harder to start like this. But then you have to add at some stage it's very easy to get a clunk, so I'm apologising in advance.
No, I know from that opening how difficult it must be, because I remember hearing organists do little as they add extra things.
Yeah.
And so that's
I personally prefer to live with the odd clunk, but start quieter than start with the snarly reeds. But I
agree with you.
What do you think?
Totally. Do you agree with him? Yeah, we all agree.
Okay.
So that's good. Anyway, on we go to the next thing, which is the second verse, which talks about, and this is all an ancient hymn, Te Lugis ante terminum, which has existed in its plain song version for years and years and years, and is sung at Compline often. And then we have the central verse, which is, please save us from things that go bump in the night. You know, we don't want any creepy crawlies and ghosts coming to us. So we've got Procul cedat somni et noctium phantasmata. Keep us from phantasms in the middle of the night. Okay, and He, that's the noise, exactly. Were you accompanying me speaking to give that effect of...
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good. Thank you. We'll carry on and give the extra effect to what I... Yeah, exactly. And what else? Well, it's mainly ec noctium phantasm and of the night ghosts. Hostemque nostrum comprime. Keep us from all of our nasty enemies. Hostemque and our enemies. So let's just hear. May we hear your interlude with its lovely diminished seventh and also its 4-bar pedal, and there's a wonderful modulation into G minor for a moment, and some lovely chords next to each other, adjacent chords. So let's go from, shall we just sing the last bit? Because it's such fun. Give us an A. Let's go from Sis preso et custodia. Sis pre... Right, let's practice a few of those things. That's the telling moment when we know whether we've gone flat in the unaccompanied bit, where he comes in. Some composers write a different chord just after it, and gradually you come back to the right one just in case you've gone flat. Vaughan Williams is very good at that, because he conducted choirs often that went flat, so he was careful to do that. But here you've got to be on the B minor chord. Okay, so Procol, I think I wasn't quite clear enough on Procol because we weren't together. Give us the chord for Procol, please. Pro, just with me. Procol. That's it. Lots to get through before the O comes. Procol Richard, and he does a hairpin, double hairpin over somnia, sleep. Et noctium, because it's the genitive, we pronounce it noctium, of the night, phantasmata, ghosts of the night. And then tiny, and bottom of page 4, Hostemque. I'll give you plenty of time before Hostemque nostrum. And then enjoy just a little double hairpin over comprima. And then we just touch it. And then ne polluantur corporum, lest they infect our body, lest they come in and hurt us. Okay, so let's do this beautiful unaccompanied thing once again. Okay, and could we go from, everybody in doing this goes from rich tone, because he's written rich tone there. So there's no question but then you've got to use all your lovely noises. So 4 bars before we come in. Okay, nearly happened again. That happened last time. Going down a tone from the D, D, D basses. Everyone, again, as we did in the Berlioz, your best quiet tone, pro, which is much harder to produce than your best loud tone. Proku and slightly too much bass, and again, and D. But when you do that, just diminu a note at the right moment for musical effect. There, in order to phrase up exactly the right moment. And then okay, I'm conducting it, but I'm listening to you breathing. I'm with you breathing so that we all come in on Hos term. So let's go from the top once again. Procul recedant. Can we have hostemque? Go on to that M as early as you dare, okay? Hostemque and go. Actually, I'm glad I said that because that was too early. Okay, but get the point. Hostemque and go. Tenors, you need to go down a whole tone onto that G from the A. Okay, don't worry. Let's go from comprimé, the lovely French sixth. Is that called a French sixth? Yeah. Comprimé. And the basis. That's what makes it a French sixth. It's the fifth goes down a semitone. Comprimé and com. So thank you, that was absolutely lovely. Man, convert the last crotchet of that final minim into the and so that we go and then for a moment all that's left on is the organ pedal, or finish like that. In those man, could they all be 3 + 1 each? So 3 crotchets plus 1 rest, but that doesn't have to be for the organ. But bear in mind that when you do a bit of N strays into the last beat anyway, okay, and then start as quietly as you can. Amen. And so on. And then bottom of page 8, there's that lovely effect where it's doubled in time. So, but don't let the middle of the double hairpin be quite as loud as the previous two. So that it's a really somber sort of, you imagine that most of your listeners have gone to sleep by then. It's all about going to sleep. So, you know, it's please be with us when we're, oh, all right, yeah, you're fine, okay. So now, just going back to page 5, I love the entry of the organ pedal B at that point, Mark, but I just thought your manuals were slightly too loud for your pedals at that point, when it says forte great plus swell, but don't take too much notice of him, I don't think. And then praise start, beautiful everyone, thank you. And I'm always keen that there should be enough pedal at that bit, because that B minor chord with the G sharp in the bass is so fantastic, as is the minor 9th chord on the next thing, and the augmented chord after that. It's so full of lush chords. It's fantastic. And so it's really suited for good, strong singing, all of this. And the balance was excellent, thank you. And then, as if the altos haven't had a chance to make a lovely noise yet, bottom of page 7, those first 3 crotchets must be such fun if you can sing alto, which I can't really. And then gradually we get quieter and quieter till the end. Right, here we go. Evening Hymn by Balfour Gardiner, John Eliot Gardiner's great uncle, I think.